Hello, everybody. It's Drama Free Monday. Welcome in. Let me know when you get here. That would be ever so helpful. Hello, Rhonda. Good to see you. Thank you for letting me know you were here. It is Monday. And with fingers crossed, we won't have the same issues we had on Friday. Which, by the way, I apologize to everyone. Hello, Cheryl. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in forever. Guess who's here with me today? Oh, I forgot one of my lights. Oh, well, I think I'm looking okay. Good enough. I thought maybe that's what was going on. I thought maybe that's what's going on. Yeah, so we hope that tonight goes better than Friday went. He was here for a second and then he walked away. You never know about that cat. You never know. Oh, he was thirsty. I hear him drinking. Cheryl, how in the world are you? Hello, Angela. Angela is in the house. ARH is Angela, if I am remembering correctly. It's Monday. It gets dark. Hello, Connie. It gets so dark so early now. Oh, tell you, I don't like that, but it doesn't matter. I'm on just a couple minutes early. Pardon me while I blow my nose. Because I was trying to make sure that we were going to be able to go live, which I think we are. Because there's people here. And Chance is talking. Got his drink. He's good. Anyway, it's so dark so early. Yes, yes. I understand why you're notifying me, but I don't need it. Good, Cheryl. That's wonderful. There's always somebody trying to order me around. My computer, mostly. Are you coming up? Are you coming up? Come here. Come here. I got a bunch of stuff to do tonight, so I thought we would just kind of play and see what happens. Jinx is Rhonda, in case you hear me talking to Rhonda. Come here. And you don't see her name in the chat. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come on, come on. Earlier, we were sitting on. I was sitting on the couch because I've had a hard day. Not really. Only teasing. Hello, Miss Peggy, and Chance is in the house as usual. Don't do that. Okay? Don't do that. I had a hard time. See, I can't even talk real well today. I got up. I had a hard time getting up. I had a hard time getting going. For no apparent reason. Nothing that makes any sense whatsoever. And then I talked to one of my friends. And she and I talked for a long time, which put me further behind. And Monday is trash day, so I had to collect all the trash and get it out. This is first world problems. Had to get the trash outside. It's raining. It's yucky, So I started off the day not behind the 8 ball. Before I got out of here, it was almost noon before I got out of here. Craziness. It was, Rhonda, it was just one of those crazy days. And we're just chatting until some other people get here. And so I went to the place where I write, and have coffee. And I chatted with oh, by the way, one of the best pieces of news ever. Best piece of news. Any of you that saw the stream on Friday, which again, apologies that it cut off so rudely at the end. I think my internet went down, but it wasn't down very long. I think that's what happened, but I'm not entirely sure, because if you change too many things at once, you never know which one to blame. Anyway, the best news ever, the person I talked about on the last stream that was not really stalking, but being obnoxious, I found out is married. Thank you. I asked one of the people that worked there, and she said, I asked her if she knew the person, and she said yes. And just by the way she said yes, I knew that it wasn't just me. I know, yippee skippy, right? And I'm like, oh. And so I asked, was this person married? And she said, well, I think so, but I'm not sure, but I'll find out. Before she got back to tell me, I was on a phone call sitting in the restaurant. And so she took out her notebook and she wrote down, yes, married, exclamation point, just too familiar. I'm like, okay, I feel better now. Yeah, that is, Rhonda, that is a good, it's just good information to have, because I'm not above dropping that little thing about, well, how is your wife doing? that won't bother me at all. I know, right? So anyway, I am sitting in the restaurant, and I like to sit in this one place because it's back in a corner. It's an unusable table because you have to like skinny up and shimmy in, turn sideways, suck in your breath, and then you can scooch in there and sit down. But I like that table because nobody joins me there, because it's just uncomfortable. Chance. He does this whining thing when he wants attention. And usually if I call his name, he'll go from whoa, whoa to meow. Yeah. Oh, I will, Rhonda. Don't you worry for 1 minute. I'll stick up for myself. I didn't always, but I do now. Anyway, hey, Wendy. I know, Rhonda, exactly. Hey, Barbara. Good. Lurk away. No, Wendy, married. That question got answered today. I am so relieved. So I will not have a problem if it starts up again. I will not have a problem saying, oh, by the way, how is your wife? Yes, I will. Yes, ma'am, Peggy. Yes, ma'am. Anyhow, so I'm sitting there minding my own business. I spread my stuff out all over the table because that's where I journal and I catch up with stuff. I read, which, by the way, I have a book that I want to share with you guys. And I will put this over here so I will remember. And so I'm sitting there, but it's also a little chilly in that corner. That's because it's a lot of glass right there. Anyway, I got chilly sitting there. Then I had to go get groceries around the store. And as I go around, I don't know what happened, but the store got colder and colder and colder. In the refrigerator section, you expect to freeze, but not in the paper towels, right? By the time I got done, my nose is frozen. My nose is running because it's cold. I was just so cold. And I'm thinking, oh, please don't let me be getting sick with something. Please don't let me get... I feel absolutely fine. I get done. I get my groceries done. I go outside. Of course, it's cold. It's wet. It's raining. I have on a rain jacket, which is good. Put the hood up, which then you have to be careful that you pull it back so you can see the traffic coming. You know what I mean? And so I did that. got to my car, got my car. There are some disadvantages to the single life. Clausman used to love to go with me to the grocery store. He was like my sidekick, and I couldn't, which was lovely in a lot of ways, and in other ways it's like, could I just have a little bit of time? I'm just going to go to the grocery store. But he wanted to help, and sometimes his help wasn't helpful, if you understand what I mean, But there are moments when I'm like, man, I wish Clausman was here to, especially on a day like today, to put the groceries in the car and take the cart to the cart corral, or, just drive me or something, It's like those moments of, yeah, it would just be nice to have another human helping, Anyway, personal problems. Like I've told you, this is a first world problem stream. And so... Oh, I see, Rhonda. Good strategy. You have one of those, Wendy, so you understand. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Cindy. So anyway, so I got, I'm cold and I'm wet and I'm dripping, and I finally get the car loaded. And of course, I bought a lot of stuff so that I don't have to go to the store later in the week, and put the cart away. And then I get in the car and I'm like, man, I'm cold. So I don't live very far from the store, so I have to whip up the heat. By the time I get home, I'm pretty much almost warm, except my hands and my feet are freezing. I even said when I checked out to the grocery checker, I said, man, it's cold in this store. And she said, well, maybe it'll warm up before long. I asked for that. Maybe it will. There must be a program that teaches people how to make nonsense responses. Did you, Angela? Oh, man, it was cool. Anyway, so I thought I would show you this book. Funny story behind this book. I don't think I've shown you this book. And I also have the card from Kathy Whitney to talk about again. All right. And so I still am drinking like hot tea and hot coffee just because I'm still like, I'm afraid I'm going to get cold again. Yeah. This time of year when it starts getting really chilly like this, I know, again, first world problems. I have a heating pad, like one you would put on your back, or if you had cramps, you'd put it across your belly or whatever. And it's big. I bought it for Clausman when I finally got him busted out of the hospital and rehab and brought him home, because he was always cold. So I bought a brand new heating pad that was big. So it goes across my entire lap. And it's like if one part of me warms up, the rest of me follows suit. So I have this heating pad on, and I fixed something to eat, and I sat down, and here comes Chance, because he loves that idea of that heating pad. So he's laying on me, and he's very contented with his little feet tucked in, purring away, because he's like, oh yes, this is the best. No, I'm really not. It's just that heating pad just really helps. It really helps. My house is about 40, 45 years old, probably 45 years old. I've said 40 years for a long time. It's probably 45 years old. So it's a little breezy here and there. And anyway, so I'm going to show you this book. It has nothing to do with art, has nothing to do with creativity. It has everything to do with, if you're thinking of moving on in your life in this way that I'm going to show you. Anyway, I got this book. There's a funny story behind this book. It is not a new book, and I don't think I've shown it on stream, but you know how I am. I love a good nonfiction book. I don't read fiction very often unless I'm on the airplane, and then I read fiction, and I hope it's something that that I can really get into in a fiction story, because I'm not I'm not the world's greatest flyer. Come here. Are you just going to walk around and complain? He's circling the tables, complaining as he goes. Anyway, that's when I read fiction so I can distract myself. Anyway, but I do love a good nonfiction book, especially something that is pertinent to my life. Anyway, so I found this book, Story to Follow, maybe. And it wasn't this exact book. It was another book, another copy of this book. And then I started reading it and I thought, oh, I think I'm going to have to get my own copy of this. So I did. Anyway, you can still get it. As you can see, the price was $4.99. I ordered it from Amazon. So I think pretty much have to get it from a reseller, somebody that deals in used books. The copyright's 2002, so it's 21 years old, but the information in it is still really good. You can't get into nonfiction. Some people do, some people don't, Anyway, I just thought I would share this with you because I have found this to be really, really interesting. And I went to our life group from church a few weeks ago, and I said something about this book. As soon as I saw the title, I went, my curiosity is piqued because I've been a step parent. I raised a kid, someone else's kid, and and it was a very challenging relationship, super challenging relationship. Had its moments that were great. Out of that super challenging relationship, I got 3 great super grandchildren and great grandkids and so forth. So I mean, if you hang in there long enough, great things can happen, right? But man, I think I would have loved having this. Well, hi, Miss Muppet came up. That's unusual. You want to say hello to the world? All right. Just a minute. Let me get the camera. I gotta find it. It's hanging out back here. Little Miss Muppet sitting on her tuppet. She's down here. Hold on. She's very black, and so the camera doesn't always like how dark she is. These webcams don't like black or white. Anyway, it's highly unusual to have a Muppet sighting. Yes, it's very unusual. But here she is, saying hello to the world. Can you say hi to your fans? She can't hear a thing, so she's just hanging out. So, and apparently she's done. Yeah, apparently she's done. She's going away. You never know when she'll show up. Anyway, all right, let me put the camera back here. So, okay. Anyway, that was a surprise. Anyway, if I'd had a book like this, Step Coupling, as soon as I read the title, I'm like, oh, I know what this is about. I've got to at least see if it's worth anything. Started reading it. Kathy Whitney, hello. I have information for you, girl. Stay tuned. Anyway, yeah. So I started reading it, and then I thought, oh, I'm gonna have to get a copy of this. And this would have been such good information if I'd had this about 50 years ago. But the Studley Duck has children and a grandchild, and it's just, you can't ever have too much information that might be helpful. So I just thought I would put that out there. The way I read a book like this is I read it with a highlighter in my hand, and then I take notes. I put the notes that I've highlighted into something else so that it's like my own Cliff Notes version of the book. Anyway, for anybody, I don't know if anybody needs this, but I thought I would just share that with you, because why not? You can't not have enough. You can never have too much information. takes a special parent to become a good step parent. Well, you know, the truth, Wendy, is it takes a special person to be a step parent, period. Most of us, you know, we're just lucky to survive it, honestly. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? If you want to come, do you want to come up here? Are you just going to complain? He's on the floor. He's been on the table, on the floor, on the table. He's gone around and around and around the table. Do you want some catnip? Let me give him some catnip and see if he'll go in the other room. All right. Okay. Oh, okay. That what you want? Oh my goodness. Oh yes. Oh yes. Indeed. There you go. Okay. Enjoy. Yeah. I'll let you out in a little while. Apparently that's what he wanted. Because he went in there and was immediately quiet. Yay! Anyway, so that book I thought I would share with you. Then remember this card I showed you on Friday. This was on the stream. You know, we lost connection. Hello, Anne. Well, that is great. Anne says her mom was a great step parent. That is wonderful. That is excellent. And Kathy's a step grandma. Yeah. And the good part about that is you can send them home. Usually. Not always, but kind of, sort of, usually. Anyway, this card right here is one Kathy Whitney sent to me, and I was going to read to you what she said about it so she doesn't have to write it in the chat, because I had said I wasn't sure how she did it. She said she started with a piece of 110 GSM cardstock from Michaels to make the card base. So that's this part, okay, the folded part. And then layered on the colored cardstocks, 65-pound GSM variety, and also from Michaels. Then as far as the print went, she just ran the sprig, so this, through the squisher, which is the Sizzix hand-cranked die cutting machine. The leaves were a dark red color, which is so interesting because they are kind of a blue-purple, violet blue. She says she's found that most everything that is red or pink will print out as blue. Isn't that interesting? It's like magic. Yep, for sure. And she didn't add anything else to it. So that is, I mean, to get a two-color print, I think is so cool. So that was exactly how it looked after she peeled the flattened sprig off the paper. Yeah, so there you go. So if you too want to try it, get yourself a sprig from somewhere. Preferably don't steal it from your neighbor's yard or from, public places unless you have permission, or pick it up off the ground. That's another way you can do it. And then crank it through your whatever hand crank die cutter, and you too might come out with a beautiful print. I thought it was cool. It's so cool. I did see I see all the comments. I just don't often get them answered. I used to answer them all. Oh, you found it in a parking lot. Good for you. Yeah. I wasn't asking for a true confession. But since you volunteered. Anyway, Kathy Whitney, your box is in transit, and it is, according to the USPS, it should be delivered tomorrow. So there you go. And everything was exactly as I expected it to be. By some miracle, I estimated the postage right. So there you go. Anyway, you can look for that. You can look for that in hopefully your mail, hopefully tomorrow. Okay? So let me know when it gets there. Anne says she tried this and have ended up with sticky plates. Maybe you should have a second set of plates for die cutting and then one for squishing. I don't know, because I haven't done it. Kathy, did you have any problems with it? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, one other thing I did this week, over the weekend, I went to Walmart. And I had not seen these before, but I thought I would show them to you. I don't know if any of you have tried these. Put it in the chat. King Art ink line, fine line, color ink pen set. Crisp, clear lines. Archival ink, permanent, won't smear, won't smudge. Permanent archival ink. And I think this was $7 or less. And there's 8 colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, light blue, dark blue, indigo, and looks like black in an 05 size. I have not cranked them open yet, so I don't know. But it says the word pro, so they must be good. Yeah. It says pro. So anyway. And then this set, which I was really excited to see, this is black, and this ranges from an 005, which is T-Tiny, to 01, 02, 03, 04, 05, 08, B, which could be a brush, but I'm not sure, a 3mm, an M, and an L. I really don't know what, this one's a brush. Oh, the 3mm is a chisel. The M is a fine point, and this is a different shaped fine point. The M and the L, they're kind of like bullet tips, but different shapes. Anyway, but these were, again, like, I don't know, $7 or $8 or something at Walmart. Another thing they had I was tempted to get, but I don't need another set of at all, is they had a set of gel sticks that are water soluble. Those looked pretty cool. And hey, Catherine. You're still getting commercials? I have done everything. They have done it again. Hold on. When I started this stream, I made sure that this was not going to be. All right. I see that I'm going to have to start the stream, and then I'm going to have to apparently check the monetization situation. The ad thing. I don't know. All right. Hopefully I've got it stopped again. I don't know. It may be a new YouTube thing or something. I don't know. We'll try it again. Yeah, but I hate to have the stream. I hate to have people's viewing experience continually interrupted with ads, I don't mind. Honestly, there's nothing I can do about it so much after the stream. When that's out, I just let YouTube put ads in where they want to put them in when you're watching a recording. I appreciate people watching them, don't get me wrong, because every little, all the bits of advertising money that come, which is not a lot, but, I appreciate it. I really do. So anyway, yeah. So if somebody can answer Catherine's question, that would be great, because I kind of missed what the question was. Anyways, anybody tried these? I got them and I thought we would maybe play with them at some time. Not tonight, but sometime we will. I was excited. And then the gel sticks looked quite interesting. The gel sticks were water soluble, kind of like an oil pastel, but water soluble. You've seen them? I just thought that was a great price. You don't miss any of the live stream with the ad? Really? Well, there you go. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, so I had those things to talk to you about and show you. The first thing I'm going to do is, I know you're going to be surprised to hear this, but I've got to cover another journal because I've filled up yet another journal. I know you're so excited about this. But this is, we're going to do it pretty quickly because I don't have very many more days left in my journal to write in. And we, believe me, people, you and I do not want me not writing and doing my journaling, because you and I would both lose our cookies. I would lose my cookies because it's good for my mental health. And you would lose your cookies because I would be a mess when I got here. Now, I know you think I'm a mess sometimes anyway, but that's okay. So what I have here is a piece of, this is newsprint, which with who knows what, this is wax. So that section probably will not print very well, but we can pick another spot. We might even turn it this way. Oh, this has got wax on here. It's got quite a bit of wax on it. So wax on, wax off. This could be an interesting situation going here. I don't even remember what I was doing there. Anyway, so this is just newsprint. And so we're going to take this newsprint and we're going to glue this to a new journal. This is the type of journal that I use. It's moleskin. And it is the Traveler's Notebook size, which is, I always forget, about 5 inches by about 8 1/4. 5 by 8 1/4, give or take. Hello, Pam. Good to have you join us. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and I'm just going to kind of oversize it. Okay, I'm just going to oversize this. I normally use, something left over, so this is no exception. And then I'm going to just, hopefully, we'll see how good my eye is, which is, sometimes better than others. Put it here just to make sure that I don't get too tight where I can't give myself a good margin. Anyway, what this is from is when I was jelly plate printing, which we're also going to do some of tonight. And then I was just cleaning off the brayer on here, I think. That's what it looks like. I normally do that on mixed media paper, like the Canson 90-pound mixed media paper. That's what I usually use for this, for cleaning off the brayer. So it's a little weird that I would use newsprint, but it is what it is. Okay, so we're going to kind of put some glue stick on this, which I may regret not using some other adhesive. But you know what? If I need to go back and reinforce it with a different adhesive, that's fine. After all, it is only a journal, a little journal. So this is a piece of parchment paper. We're going to cover this. And I have been asked before, and so I'm just going to tell you right now, I've been asked before, why do I cover these journals. I like them to be all the same size because then they fit together nicely. I rubber band them together at the end of the year. And I like the way they fit if they're all the same size, you know? So, anyway, so I am just using, this is Elmer's Extreme, which is the glue stick I like a lot. I've tried lots of glue sticks over the years, and this used to be one of the very most inexpensive glue sticks. I don't even know if you can still get them. I always forget to go back and check before I start streaming. But when I run out, I will try to find them yet again on Amazon, because the last time I bought them, I bought a case of them. Let me just say, it's going to be a while before I run out, which is good. It's very good. Before I started tonight, I also put on gloves in a bottle because I am likely to get a whole bunch of paint on my hands tonight. Hello, Mary. Yep, we're going to do some jelly plate printing on fabric. And I probably would have been wise, but I only thought about it after the fact. I would have been wise. Whoop. Well, I threw my tool on the floor. Sorry while I disappear off the screen. I only thought about it after the fact. Probably would have been a good idea to also put glue stick on the paper. You know, it's just a journal cover. It doesn't matter. And maybe I can still do it on this side. So then we'll find out whether it was really necessary or not, right? Anyway, I have used all different kinds of glues to do this, you know, and the one I keep coming back to is just good old-fashioned glue stick. And I like this one. Some people like a different one. Some people find this one too expensive to buy. That's fine. You know, it's like so many other things about art supplies. You find the things that you like. And I say, good on you. It used to really bother me when people would leave comments and they'd say, well, that's not what I do, and I don't recommend that. That used to really bother me. And now I'm like, oh, that's good. You know, you never know when you can learn something, right? Okay, hopefully we have enough paper here. This might be really good since there's kind of waxy residue here. Anyway, this is the glue stick that I prefer, so it's the one that I use. And then what I like to do is once I have it kind of brayered on, I'm just going to leave this parchment paper in there to kind of protect the book block. And I'm going to stick it over here on my table and put some heavy books on top of it and let it sit and hopefully dry a little bit. And if I think about it, we'll trim it up before the stream ends, but I may or may not think about it. So here's hoping. Hello, Becky. Oh, what makes them spiffy and new? Becky's going to get spiffy new glasses. What makes them spiffy? New, I understand. I have to tell you that switching glasses is I never get too excited about that. In fact, I put it off as long as I possibly can. Aquamarine and purple, how nice. Okay, so I'm going to take this. I'm going to stick it over here on my table. I'll be right back. With a couple of books on top of it. So we'll see if I remember to show it to you later or not. Right? Larger than your current glasses. Nice. My glasses have to be thinned out. I know. It's another one of those things you never want to hear me say. But they have to be thinned. My vision is just crappy enough. Just crappy enough. And it's been this way pretty much most of my life. That back in the days of the glass lenses, I had a headache most of the time just from the weight on my nose. Well, then when they switched to plastic lenses, it was like, that was the best news ever, that you could get them in plastic lenses. And they could thin the plastic down so you don't look like you're wearing Coke bottles, the bottoms of Coke bottles, which is nice. Yes. So it's nice to have plastic lenses, and it's nice because I went through the days of the great giant glass, the great giant ones. Boy, were those things. I would only put up with it because of vanity. Just plain pure vanity. I had big red glasses like Sally Jesse Raphael, if any of you know her. Remember her from days gone by. Anyway, so let's look at this fabric, shall we? So I am printing fabric. See if I can get out here far enough. Yeah, pretty much far enough. You'll be able to see, along with a bunch of garbage on my desk. But this is the piece that I have done already. And so you may look at it and go, oh, that's a bunch of mess. But I'm making it in order to make something out of it. You had 20/20 till you hit 45. You know, I don't think I ever had 20/20. I don't think I ever had 20/20. I was farsighted in 2nd grade, and then by 6th grade I was in bifocals because I couldn't see near or far. And then eventually I ended up just to be nearsighted. And so actually getting older actually helped a lot of that. So the short arm syndrome is not something that I've had a lot of issues with. In fact, most of the time I have to take the glasses off to see up close. But anyway, I'm just grateful for eyesight. I'm grateful to be able to see. So anyway, this is what I did. So this was printed initially. The bottom layers were done on the jelly plate. Then I came back on top of it with stencils. And like this purple spot right here, you'll see some of those. Those are stencils. This is a stencil. What else? I tried not to make them too obvious. These are stencils in here. So is this and this. And this is, I don't know, that could be a stencil. Might not be. It's a little bit hard to tell, whether sometimes after I sleep, whether I've pulled the print or stenciled the print. This is a stencil here, and so is this. The stencil is always more opaque, so these dots are stenciled on. Anyway, on top of that, then I went, I used a slick writer. I have it here somewhere. All right, where are you? Well, it's like this. I may have put it away. It's a tulip metallic slick writer. I have a big one in gold, but I'm not sure where it is at the moment. Anyway, doesn't matter. Oh no, I didn't have a big one in gold. My mistake. So this was the one I had. So they're metallics, tulip metallics. They're not the puffy raised ones. They're just the metallics. This is gold. And then I have some other colors also. And so I just doodled on top of the fabric. Okay? Ah, interesting, Becky. Interesting. So anyway, there is that. And so it has a little bit, I'm going to hold it up, a little bit of dimension. And it has some sparkle. I used a little bit of purple. You can see kind of right in the middle. There's a little purple flash going on. And so I'm just printing the fabric, and then I will make the project out of the fabric. So we have purple. Check. Check and check. And then I have started on a piece, 2 pieces actually, because I ran out of fabric to get it out of one piece of red. So I'm going to stick my fabric over there. Once I had the fabric done, then over to my right, there is a bathroom that has a shower in it and a shower curtain rod, which I don't think I put a shower curtain in there at this moment. I haven't had anybody that needed a shower in there, so I think I stole the shower curtain from there and put it somewhere else in the house. Anyway, but the rod is great for drying stuff. Hey, Peg, good to see you. And I hope you're doing well. Good to see you in the chat. And so what I did was let it get good and dry till the next day. So because that slick, what'd they call it? Slick Rider? Dimensional fabric paint. They used to be called Slick Riders, but I think, anyway, dimensional fabric paint, it takes a little while for that to dry, get really dry. Then I put it on top of a piece of fabric on my ironing board, and I turned it face down, so all the paint theoretically is down. And then I ironed it, steamed it. So that's how I arrived at that finished result. And it's doing it. I used some fabric medium, so the hand of it is pretty good. It's pretty good. FDA eye drop warning. What was that? What's that on? I didn't see it, so somebody clue me in. I don't watch the news. I don't watch any of that stuff. So somebody tell me, what am I supposed to do now? And what kind of eye drops are we talking about? Oh, wow. Ann Laura says her grandmother's eyesight improved as she got older, and when she was 85, she didn't need her glasses. If you live long enough, maybe I'll forget where they are too. Anyway, I'll show you what the progress on the red piece at this point. So I have 2 pieces of red because I didn't have enough to get it all in one, and I need enough to get, for the project. I'll have to look at the list. A recall list? Wow. I don't have any regular eye. Are they prescription eye drops? Because I just use Tears, which I've used for years just to keep my eyes lubricated. Anyway, here's one of them. This is not finished yet, but it is started. And here's another one. So here's another one. You want to know what this is right here? That's a raveling from the side of the fabric. So that's a string. It's one of the, in fact, it's this one. It's this. So it's just part of the fabric that was got between the plate and the fabric. store brand. Huh. I'll have to look. Thanks. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's get the jelly plate out. This one measures just over 12 by 12, or I think it's supposed to be 12 by 12. So I'm going to come in a little bit tighter so you can get the maximum amount of room. Oh, thank you, Becky. Thank you. Where did you private message me? On Instagram? Because I don't do Facebook, so I'm not on there. Instagram or X. What is X? What does that stand? Don't tell me, because I don't care. I just find it annoying. Anyway, personal problems. Okay, so let's print a little bit tonight, shall we? And then I'm going to do some stenciling, and I don't know that I'll get any further than I am at the moment. I mean, a whole lot further than this. As far as like colors, I have 2 more groups of colors to use. I'm going to make a pink fabric and also a green fabric. Yeah, I don't do Facebook, Becky, so that would be excellent if you do it on Instagram. That would be excellent. Anyway, let's do this, okay? Let's do this. And let me get rid of the bug. So you've got clear sailing here. The colors and the paints I'm using are, this is Master's Touch Magenta, this is Deco Art Antique Maroon, Master's Touch Rouge, Deco Art Deep Burgundy, Color Shift, Folk Art Color Shift, Red Flash, Tomato Spice. This is Americana Multi-Surface Satin Paint in the color Lipstick. And that's it. So those are the colors I'm using. I'm using a 8 inch. Yeah, 8 inch brayer. And my jelly plate is mounted on a piece of plexiglass. Okay? I think that is all the particulars for what you guys need to know. And then I have an assortment of stencils, and this, which was from a sink mat. I bought these at Walmart to use in my sinks, my kitchen sinks. It is a horrible kitchen sink mat, but it's a great printing thing. So this part I kept. I'd used the sink mats for about a week and went, these are awful, and got rid of those. So there you go. All right. So I'll show you how I went about printing this. And I started out, I'm not telling you that this is the way to do it. I'm telling you this is how Barb did it. Okay? So what I'm using is some textile medium. This brand happens to be Delta. And this is just to help keep the fabric a little softer. It's not going to be super soft because I'm using, you know, let's be honest, I'm using cheap paint. Cheap paint. So let's put a little lipstick out here. And then let's use a little pink flash. Let's see what happens. Let's use a little pink flash. And so I just, you know, put some paint out. I just dribble it on top of the textile medium. And then I just use the brayer. And I don't know what exactly I did to my plate, but right here, I mean, I clearly have put it against something, but right here, it has a little which is very annoying, I have to tell you. Very annoying, because I will show you. See, you can see right where it is. See it? And that little area will not fill in with paint unless I tip the brayer. It's super annoying. Won't fill in with paint unless I tip the brayer and do it. And it's like, oh well. You know, by the time I put enough layers on this piece of fabric, it won't make any difference. It's just annoying that I did that. So probably where I have it stored right now is the problem. And then off to my right, where you cannot see it because my setup is not big enough for you to see it, off to my right, I have a big giant piece, pad that's almost gone of Canson mixed media paper, and so that's what I'm brayering off on. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and doing this on camera is always a real pain. Can you flip the gel plate over? Oh, you mean flip it over because of that? Yeah, probably, but you know, I didn't. That's a good idea, but I didn't do that. So what I'm going to do here, and my gel plate is pretty squishy, I'm going to move the plate over because being able to show you what I'm doing is a little on the challenging side with my camera set up. All right, so we're going to put this. It is a mama brayer, mama beater. It's not a mama beater, Mary. No, it's not. Okay, so we're going to pull this off, and we'll see if I picked up enough paint. I don't think I did, so let's try again. All right, yeah, we'll see if we got enough. Yeah, maybe. And then I'm just going to slap it on the fabric. Sometimes it helps to brayer it. And then sometimes you got to do it again because you didn't get enough paint, you know? And I tell you, sometimes you got to get your tools working for you. You know, you just got to get your tools working. And it always takes me, even if I've done this recently, which I did, I'm not getting anything, so we're gonna forget about that. I'm just gonna pattern the plate a little bit more, and then give it a little more texture. It just, you know, if it doesn't work, don't worry about it, just move on. And then I'm going to add some paint, a little bit here, a little bit there. And the trick is when you're printing on fabric, on a big piece of fabric, not to paint the clothes that you have on when you stick it, when you let the fabric hang out on your lap. Yes. Okay, so that changed this area a little bit more, so I like that a little bit better. And let's see if we can pick up this right in here. I just was trying to get a little bit more paint. This area that's sticking out doesn't make any difference. That I don't care about. I'm just trying to get a little more even coat of paint on here, as far as, yeah, that I can live with. Then I can go from there with stenciling. So we're going to put that, call that one ready for stencils. And let me see what I want to do here. I want to add a little bit more in these kind of light areas. I like contrast, but sometimes a little too much contrast doesn't suit me real well. So we'll add some of this, which is deep burgundy. Dorothy, girl, it is late. You and Barbara Every, I'll tell you what. You girls over across the pond need to go to bed. Yes, you do. What was the other one? This one was Antique Maroon. Let's put a little of this one. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to kind of mix things up here. By the time I get done, you know, what's on the plate kind of turns all into one color, but, you know, I'm okay with that because I just use enough different colors that it flat out doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This place right here is just super annoying. I am going to have to turn this over and try the other side at some point, but you know, probably isn't going to happen today. Isn't going to happen today. All right, let's put some little masks on here. These are from a Joggles, yes, Joggles stencil. And so that's what I'm using there. And this is another Joggles, I think, stencil. And the part that is showing, I'm just going to put a few little marks in it so it's not just plain. So I went to a football game Saturday night. You guys, it was cold. It was cold at that football game. Started at 6:30. I'm going to tell you something. When the sun goes down and it starts getting chilly, it is real refreshing. Fortunately, I have accumulated enough clothes since last year because of said football games. If I ever stop seeing the Studley Duck, I will have clothes to auction off or give to somebody. So true. Yeah. Anyway, so we're going to put some of this up here. By the time I got all the layers on, fortunately they were all thin layers. I mean, I could have passed for the Pillsbury bread dough boy. All right, I'm going to print all of this and then I will turn it over so you can see it. You know how I love handprints on things. Okay, so some of it printed up here, some of it printed in here. Where else did I print it? Down here. So you can see some of that, right? Okay, I'm going to pull these off and run them over on my scrap paper over here, the one there I'm cleaning the brayer. I'm just brayering that off just to get, I'm sorry you can't see that, but there's not a thing I can do about you seeing that because I just don't have enough camera. I don't have enough shots set up. I already have 8 shots set up. I just don't have enough shots for you to be able to see that exactly. So you just have to trust me that when my hands aren't moving on the screen that there's something else I'm doing, which is true. Okay, so let's just take this and this should come off. So let's find out. Let's find out. Anyway, brought up the thing about how much you used to do that. You're in bed, Dorothy. That's good. I'm glad. You need your beauty rest, girl. You need your beauty rest. Oh, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So the other night I was, yeah, that's looking better. It's looking a little more cohesive. I'm good with that. The other night I was printing on the purple one, and I had the plate all done, you know, with purple paint on it, and I put the fabric down like this, and I went like this because I was just trying to, you know, get it to absorb into fabric, because fabric's different than paper when it comes to gel printing in my experience. And I got the greatest, of course I've covered them up now, but I got the greatest handprints, and I'm like, that is very cool. I don't even need a stencil because I use my own hand. So if you like hands the way I do, I suppose you could use your feet too, but that's a little awkward. You know, load your plate up, put your fabric on there, and use your hand and just print. Don't rub, just print, and you can get a great impression of your hand. Yeah, you're welcome. You are so welcome for that. All right, so that is enough. That's enough of the getting color on this. We'll do the rest with stencils and with these. I keep calling the wrong thing, dimensional fabric paint. Anyway, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean off the plate, because I don't really want this to come off when I change colors. And so what we're going to do, we'll see how this works. Usually it works pretty well. I have some paper, scrapbook paper out here. Yes, I'm getting it out so you can see. It's ugly scrapbook paper, and some of you may think it's wonderful and beautiful and all of that, but I think it's just butt ugly. So, and it's things I've used for other past projects, but these are super old. They are paper, not cardstock. And this one, I love me a good polka dot, and this whole sheet was not, well, you can see it down here. It's titty pink with taupe dots on it. Okay, I don't think there is an uglier combination of colors than titty pink and taupe. I'm just telling you, I think that is atrocious color combo. And so I pulled all the paint off the plate. And now I love this piece of paper. Now I love this piece of paper. I think this is a good, usable piece of paper. So anyway, just thought I'd show you that. So we will take this one. We have this piece of paper, which is a similar, it's from the same pack of scrapbook paper. I know, really? Yeah, titty. You know what that is, Anne. All of us girls have them. It's not an attractive color. Maybe to some people, but I don't find it attractive at all. Anyway, I'm going to use white. And if that offends anybody, mea culpa. I'm so sorry, but you know how I am. I sometimes say the wrong thing. I get in trouble for it. There's always somebody around to let me know that I said the wrong thing. How rude I am. It's like, oh well, so sad. You know, here's a clue. Switch channels or turn it off. That's a concept. There's a concept for you. All right, so I'm just going to put a relatively thin coat of white. Some people like to pull the prints using ivory, or my other least favorite color is Titan buff, or antique buff, or some of that sort of coloration. No, can't stand those colors. What did I do with the rest of those papers? Quick, Barb, quick. Oh, here they are. Yeah, I really do hate those colors. Because it's like lukewarm coffee. Blech. It's like disgusting. Anyway, so what I'm doing is I'm just covering the edges of the plate as best I can. And this is an old antique iron that I have no idea who put felt on the bottom. Maybe that's the way they came back then. I don't kind of doubt it, but I don't know. I don't have a Baron, which is a printing. It's much better in a lot of ways than what this is. I don't have a Baron, which is used in the print world for getting good prints, making good contact with a printing plate and so forth. And so I'm just making do, right? Angela, I hope that was in a good way. One of our clients, now we'll see whether this comes off the plate. Sometimes I have great luck. Sometimes I have great luck pulling prints, and sometimes not so much. To clean the plate. That's all I'm trying to do here is to clean the plate. If I can get it clean enough. Yeah, fair, but not great. That's all right. It's good enough. It's clean enough. At least we got some white on there, so maybe by the time I get enough layers of stuff on here, it'll cover it up. Anyway, so that's what changed that paper, which I happen to like it when it changes. It really changes papers, and you print on top of them, and you get some of the coolest prints when you do that. You get some of the coolest prints because you pick up some of the stencil or mask bits, you pull up some of the texture. That's a very usable piece of paper. That would make a nice journal cover. But we've already covered the journal tonight, so it's fine. It's all good. Now, if I wanted to get this really super clean, you can do it several different ways. The way that I do it the most often is I will use hand sanitizer. That's what I do most often. Okay, Becky, have a good rest. Drift off to sleep. I'll try and keep my drivel going so you can go to sleep. Anyway, I went to the football game. Yes, and this football game was the craziest football game. It was MU, which is Mizzou, which is the University of Missouri, against Florida. Sorry, Ann. So sorry, Ann. I don't know if you're a Florida fan. And the game went back and forth and back and forth. We'd score, they'd score. We'd score, they'd score. And got down to the end. Right at the end. It's like a minute and 30 seconds or something yet to go. And we are down. I don't know. I don't remember how much we were down. Anyway, whatever it was. I don't keep those details. And I'm like, I don't think we're coming back from this one. I don't think that's possible. And I know zip squat about football, you guys. Zip squat, right? I can't even keep up with the football. I've already told you my football woes. Anyway, I can't even keep up with where the football is half the time, so I watch the video board. So I kind of know where things are. Anyway, I have learned that when it gets to 4th down, that's bad. It was 4th and 17, as I recall, I think, but don't hold me to it. So this is like going to be a miracle if it's like this isn't happening. And the quarterback heaves a pass to one of his and I don't know his position. Heaves a pass to one of his best, I guess, receivers. Don't go after me in the comments about my stupidity. I already know I'm stupid about this. Okay? I already know this. Don't tell me. And the guy catches it and gets him within field goal range, because the clock is running out. Okay, it is running out. And the guy who punts, may not be the right term. Anyway, the guy that's the kicker, he is called the thicker kicker. Yes, he is. The thicker kicker is his nickname. And he comes in to kick a field goal, which earlier this year he kicked one that was 61 yards or something. I don't know. Details escape me. Anyway, it was some kind of record. Anyway, he kicked a field goal and we won by 2 points. Because the time is running down. It's like with 2 seconds to go, he kicks this field goal. And I'm like, whoa, that was a good night. That was a good night. That was a good night. Good night, Pam. Thanks for hanging out with us. Okay, so what I have now is a stencil. This is a Diane Reevely stencil, a sponge, and a couple of colors of, this is a tube paint. This is the Color Shift paint. And it takes a little bit before the sponge. This is a makeup sponge. Takes a little bit before this gets enough paint in it. I probably should have torn the edges of this, because I think that could be a problem here. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. Let me take this and cut this off, because I think this is dried paint from the last time. So we're going to cut off that part and try again. And I don't have any fabric medium in this at all. At this point, I really don't care, you know. I really don't care about the fabric medium. If it gets a little stiff, overall it is now thick or pliable enough. The fabric is pliable enough that I'm going to be able to do what I want to do with it. And so there you go. Okay. Anyway, so all that to tell you that it was a very exciting, it was an exciting Saturday night in Barb's life. Yes, it was. So, yeah. Periodically, I just sit there and wait for people to cheer or whatever, so that way, you know, I don't feel so stupid if I cheer for the wrong thing. But oh my goodness, the one thing I forgot, I have on all these great layers of clothes. I have a throw with me. You know, I have on 3 layers on my legs. I have on insulated boots. I have on socks. Man, I am set to go. I am in good shape. Forgot my earplugs. And oh man, the people that sit behind us, there are guys. And I'm telling you, the more beer they get into them, the louder they get. And I'm like, holy mackerel. They weren't too obnoxious. Sort of obnoxious, not horrible. And it was, they're just so loud. And so I have learned to take earplugs with me, but I forgot them. Oh man, I'm like, if I can hear after this thing's over with, it's going to be a miracle. Yep. Anyway, I really wasn't cold because I had on enough layers and I had enough stuff with me and I had a real heavy throw with me. I was not cold. I was not cold. So that was great. Now today was another story. Today was a different story. And that came from shopping in the bloomin' grocery store. Yeah, shopping in the grocery store, man. I about froze my keister. Okay, you got the idea of what I'm doing. So I'm gonna, my palette is probably going to be off the screen a lot of the time. But you got the idea of what I'm doing, is just putting, all I want to do is break up some of this and add a little more interest in certain places. And yeah, so I really wasn't cold. I was sure cold today though. Man, I was cold today. I got so chilled in the dumb grocery store. And everybody and their brother was shopping today. Yeah, because everybody wants to get ahead of the crowd. Myself included. Yep, myself included. Got to get ahead of the crowd. You know, Claus Man's favorite, maybe some of you were here when what's his name? Oh yeah, Race. Race and I were giving Claus Man what for. And his two favorite sayings were, he's got to get ahead of the game. And what was the other one? I always forget the second one. Oh, got to stay on the safe side. And in his later years, as he was sinking into the crazy, crazy is not a good term, but, you know, it is a crazy journey with someone who is spiraling into dementia. Those were his favorite things. He got to stay on the safe side. Got to stay on the safe side and get ahead of the game. And we never knew what game it was he was trying to get ahead of, and we never knew what side it was that was safe. He forgot to tell us that. But yeah. Okay. So we got some of that. All right, we're going to come over here to in here, and we're going to plunk a little bit of this in here. Try the secret, if there is a secret, the secret sauce to stenciling is to use contrasting colors. If you want the stenciling to really show up, you use contrasting colors over the background. Then you'll get it to show up. If you want it to blend in, then use colors that are super similar. You shopped today too. Yeah. Did you find that everybody and their brother was there today too, Peg? Okay, so we've got a few little, you know, I don't need it to be super obvious everywhere. And let's put just a little bit more over here. So anyway, we got it. Every time Race and I talk about it, we think about his dad being on the safe side and getting ahead of the game. That is the one that we don't know what it is, or where it is, what game we're playing, or what side we're supposed to be on, but we always remember Claus Man when we say that, because, you know, that was his super specific, and it was, I think it's what he could remember, you know, truthfully. Okay, we'll set this stencil aside because I need to use it again on the other piece of fabric, hopefully. So I'm going to set it off to the side here. I know it, and boy, I'm not super excited about that. All right, this particular piece of stuff, this fabric, I'm doing with more of a geometric sort of designs. So we've got that one. That's got some really good geometrics. So between these two, we should be in good shape. Okay. All right, let's do this one first. I like this one. This is Honeycomb. This is Crafter's Workshop 346, in case you just are dying to know what it is. And what do I want to use on this? Maybe I'm going to stick a little bit of white in this, maybe. I'll tell you what, Saturday morning it was a madhouse around here. Of course, it was the big football game, so everybody was out, football game. Oh, and we got to get there early and tailgate. And I'm like, oh, it is too cold for that. We tailgated at a pizza parlor. Yes, we did. Oh, yes, it is good when you can tailgate at a pizza parlor. Didn't have pizza. Well, I did. I sinned, and I had one very small piece of pizza. Yeah, I did. I sinned a little bit. Still on this program that I'm very bored with at this point, but I have officially, as of this morning, gotten rid of 22 poundages. 22 poundages. I will accept all manner of congratulations. Okay, we're going to come down here and do this stencil. This is honeycomb. Yes. Oh, man, I'm bored with this program, though. That's okay, When you see something working, it's kind of hard to argue with it, but anyway. Yeah, anyway. I've survived it so far, but I'm so bored with it. Now, I just don't want to screw up, hopefully not screw up Thanksgiving. This color's a little wacky, so we're going to, strangely reminiscent of pink that I don't like. So we're going to put a little bit of this back in here. Yeah, that's good, because I like it when it kind of blends a little bit. I'm good with that. Trying to just load my sponge a little bit. We'll see if we can get a little bit more. There we go. Aw, thank you, Anne. I will pay you later. I will pay you later. Let me know what your fee is, Anne. I'm so tired of this program. Ugh. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I can do it. I can do it. I don't have much more that I want to get rid of. I have been chief support for the Studley duck. Yeah, he is looking really, really good. He's doing super well. Super well. I'm very proud of him. But, oh goodness, I'm bored. Bored out of my skull. Having the Instant Pot to make this soup, which I think I told you guys about, this soup. It's a chicken and vegetable soup. I love chicken noodle soup. Let me just tell you, I love chicken noodle soup, and I make really good chicken noodle soup. But that is not a good food control kind of soup, Let's see what this is going to look like. It's okay. It's all right. We'll mix it up with a little bit of this color, a little bit of that color, add a little more, Here and there, we got a little bit of this. Yeah, okay. That's good. Visual texture. Thank you, sister. Okay, so those of you that might not know, Peggy is one of my sisters, of which I have quite a few. And so anyway, yeah, got to get through this Thanksgiving and not screw up. I don't have much more left to get off. But, here's the deal. When you're doing a food control kind of thing, it's not the hard part. That is not the hard part. The hard part is when you go back to eating regular food and keeping it off. Been there before. I have been there. I have done this. I have never regained back all that I lost, but I've regained back half of it, and I really don't want to do that. It takes too long to get it back off, especially at my age. Age is not kind to you when it comes time to lose extra poundage. Although I have to say I had a very nice compliment from the Studley duck. I won't tell you what it was, though. Yes, he was very kind to me the other day. Okay, so we've got that going. Have I worked on this other one? I haven't worked on the other piece yet. All right, let's use this one. Let's try to put a little bit of something in here. What color do I want to use now? Maybe, let's use, I'm trying to think. Let's try deep burgundy. It is, yo-yo is not, and yo-yo is not good for your body. You know, it's just really not good for your body. But boy, it is so easy to yo-yo around. Yeah. Okay, that's good. A little bit here, a little bit there. Kind of blurring some lines. Let's see if we can manage to, let's put some dots in here. Yeah, I don't have any dots in this one. Let's see if we can put some dots in here and obscure some of that white line a little bit. There we go. Oh yes. Oh yeah, when you need some dots, you need some dots. That's okay. Yes, that kind of helps break up that line. I like it. I like it. Okay, so let's take this. Sometimes I have to look at it when you're working in, you know, analogous or monochrome. Sometimes you go, did I put any paint down there? I could have sworn I did. And it's there. It's just a matter of, it looks so similar. But that's part of what I really like about this. I like having it be kind of subtle, so it's there, but it's not. And it may look just horrendously busy to you. Yeah, me too. It is one of those, I think it's one of the curses of being female. For many of us, it is a problem. Yes, what was I saying? Oh, well, I don't know. Yeah, okay, let's use a little bit more of this. I like it when things are kind of subtle, because it's like, it's the concept of Dina Wakley's puke on a page, if any of you are familiar with that, where you make this just super involved, busy kind of page, or, you know, masterboard or whatever, and then you cut it up into bits and pieces, and it's 99 times out of 100. It is safe for me to tell you that 99 times out of 100, it's going to look great once it gets cut up and used. And fabric, I find, is the same thing. You got to have a good spot here or there. Yes, you got to have a few good spots. It's like a few good men. Except for those that hang out at the grocery store, and we do not need them. Okay. All right. So we're going to call that good for this piece of fabric until I go over the top of it with the dimensional paint. Okay? So we will add some more stuff to it with dimensional paint here in a minute, but the thing we're going to do right now is we have to do the second piece of fabric. Which is all in your jeans, Peg. It's in your Jeans or Genes. Cheers, everybody. I probably won't sleep tonight because I am having coffee this late. All right. So here we go. Let's start with this. Let's just go for this little thing. And by the way, this stencil is Patterns. Look at that for an original name, Patterns. It is TCW 539. This is a Julie Faith Van Balzer stencil, I believe. I believe. All right. So we're going to do a little stencilage here and there. Oh, yes, who does not like that? If you don't like that, I'm telling you, there's something wrong with you if you don't like that. People, there's something wrong with you if you don't like that. You gotta love a good spot. Yes. All right. More spots. I do love some good dots. Don't you? Who doesn't love a good dot? Honestly. Really? Yes. Okay. So here and there and here. Yeah. What did you guys do today? I told you all my woes and my good news too. My good news about the grocery store person. I told you my good news about the grocery store person. Oh, those of you that were praying about that, thank you. And I mean that with all sincerity. Thank you. Yes. Ooh, best news I've had in a long time. Oh, good spots. Good spots. Oh, I love me some good spots. Let's see if we can use a little bit more bigger spots over here, huh? What did you guys do today? I had a hard time getting going today. Good gravy, I had a hard time getting going today. Talked to one of my friends for a long time this morning. That helped a lot. We solve the world's problems when we talk to each other. We have solved many of the world's problems. She was taking care of her husband with Parkinson's at the same time as I was taking care of Claus Man, who was dealing with dementia. And I don't know. I mean, we saved each other's sanity more times than I can tell you. Plus, through the pandemic, we're dealing with that through the pandemic. And it's like, oh, sometimes we just both want to go bang our heads against the wall, you know? Bang our heads against the wall. Okay, let's switch and do some. Let's do some arrows because I haven't done any arrows here. I need some more. What color did I use on that? Talking to myself, I know, and any moment now, someone intelligent. Dorothy's been stitching. Good. What are you stitching? Something cool? Journal Judy. Journal Judy. Hello. She always calls me the cool kid, Barb. I had to go to Starbucks before I got here. I have to have fortification before I stream. I know, it's pathetic, but it's true. And I can only drive through, I can only drive through now because of their new rule at this particular Starbucks. Ugh. What a pain. What a pain. Anyway, I got to catch up with some of my favorite kids there. We can't have long conversations, but we can have a quick one. Quick little conversation. Great kids. They were the best help. Anyway, I talked to my friend this morning. I keep sidetracking myself. So yeah, we were talking this morning. We've solved more problems. And today was no exception. She had a bad day the other day, man. She was going to go have lunch with a friend, and she goes out and gets in her car, and it won't start. She has to have it towed. She's the one that coined the term car husband. We decided after our husbands were no longer with us, we decided we had to have various husbands. So we needed car husbands, house husbands. The guy that I dubbed a yard husband. The guy that I dubbed my house husband said he didn't think he would tell his wife. that I called him my house husband. I said, well, if she has a problem with it, I said, you just tell her to come over here and I will explain to her exactly what I mean. And I don't know, for some reason he never did do that. He didn't send anybody over here to talk to me. I think he's afraid. I think he's afraid. I think he's very afraid. Anyway. Okay, let's do a little bit more. Oh, we should put some of this over here on this section. This is a great place to put some of these. Yeah, that's a good spot. Let's do some of this. All right, so I'm just about to exhaust this stencil and I have to go to another one. We'll do a little bit more. Today was a great day, great mail day. I got 2 books in the mail. You finished a panel for a tote bag. Nice. Medicinal plant stitching. Nice, Miss Dorothy. Nice. Medicinal plant stitching. That's good. You have my curiosity up now. Oop. I do like these little pattern stencils like this. Okay, we're going to put this away. We have enough of that. Let's come to this one and we'll do some, because we got to work some of this into this piece. Got to work in some of this so that it will have some sort of cohesion with the other half of this. That is the danger of splitting your focus between 2 pieces of fabric. Yes. There we go. Okay. You switch your style up, and so it's a little tricky, but it's okay. It's okay. You can do it. It's my fabric, it's my design, so whatever happens, happens, Whatever happens, happens. Good enough? Yeah, so every layer of stuff that you put makes this feel like I hope you'll understand what I mean, kind of an underwater thing. So every layer you put on drives the other layers down. That's what I mean by underwater kind of thing. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, let's do this little piece, this color. Put some of this in here. And once you get those layers where you have enough layers going on, it just becomes so interesting to look at, in my opinion. So it just makes things, to me, it makes it more interesting. Anyway, since it's my fabric and I'm doing it, it's my rules, right? I got to be on the safe side, I got to get ahead of the game. Yes, I do. Got to get ahead of that game. Whatever game it is I'm playing, I don't know, but yep. All right, let's come over here and do a little bit of this color in here. Sometimes this paint that's more opaque really helps to blend some of this, and sometimes it's the shapes of the stencil help to blend it. You just want to, have a good amount of contrast and blending. Yeah, it's one of those things where you kind of do both things, right? Okay, let's come over here and let's use a little bit more over here of this. Let's see, what else did I have to tell you today? I don't know. I showed you the book, Step Coupling. If you know anybody that is contemplating blending a family, I recommend that book. information. There's some of it that's kind of, kind of maybe not current, because a lot's changed in 21 years. But boy, there's a lot of stuff that is good, So, c'est la vie. Here I am just rattling on. You need a handyman? Oh, no, you need a house husband, Peg. That's what you need. You need a house husband. That's what you need, Peg. You need a house husband. I highly recommend that you get yourself one. They're handy. Because you know what? They fix stuff and they go home and you don't have to feed them or take care of them or wash their clothes or anything. It's great. Yeah, get yourself a house husband. My friend today, she had to have her car towed, and I said, did you take it to did it go to the dealer or did it go to your house or your car husband? She goes, oh no, it went to the car husband. So we had a big laugh about that. She was sending her car to her car husband. She has since remarried since losing her husband. I don't think he's nearly as impressed with our language for things, but it's like, you can just get on over that, man. Yeah, you can just get right on over that because, yeah, we've been through a lot together. And so, such is life. We have been through a lot together. I'm going to tell you what, you need to get you some friends. If you don't have some good friends in your life, you are missing the boat. So I cannot stress that enough. And I count each of you here in that category. You have been invaluable to me as a group. You have been invaluable to me in my journey for all of the years, and I think I've been online doing this for like 15 years. A long time, you guys. That's a long time. Anyway, okay, we're going to call that good. And I know that one of the stencils, that honeycomb one, I didn't use, but I don't want to use it because I'm tired of it for tonight. So we're going to back out. Sometimes it is, especially the pandemic was a real hindrance to, whoop, hello, that's a little far. Okay, we're going to let it be like this. Now, I got to figure out, I think I'm going to do this white dimensional paint. It is actually a white, but it's metallic. So, we'll take a look at it. I may do that. I also may do some gold on it. It's good if you have a piece of paper handy to get your dimensional paint started, or do it on the side. Okay, it's fine. Now, because this is kind of geometric, I'm going to endeavor, which is not easy for me, to do things geometrically. Okay, this is not easy for me to do, but I'm gonna try. So I'm going to try some just lines. It is much, much easier for me to do things in circles and stuff like that. Okay, but got to do what you got to do because I need this to be different from the other one. And I just got it in my finger. That's all right. That is true, Peg. That is true. Okay, so we're going to go like this. And I have a real hard time going diagonally, so we're going to do some diagonals. I'm going to force myself to do it. I do not know why that is challenging for me. If I don't end up painting me or the computer or something, it's going to be nothing short of a miracle. And my intention is to keep these lines scratchy and not very complete at all. That is my intention. So far, so good. Okay, let's take the gold. Now, I may hate myself for this, but let's hope I don't. Okay, let's hope I don't hate myself for this one. Thank you, Rhonda. All right, so, all right, here we go. Now, the gold in this dimensional paint does not look very pretty until it dries. So you gotta be patient. And this is not exactly my forte. Okay. So we're just gonna make some squares in gold. And maybe a diamond here or squares on point. Okay. The faster, I find the faster you work doing this kind of stuff, the better. Whether it's paper or fabric. And don't judge what you're doing, okay? Promise me that you will not judge what you're doing at the time you're doing it. It's so much better and easier for me to do big loopy flowers and circles and stuff like that, you know. It is so much harder for me to do straight-ish lines and squares and whoop. Then you pick up your rag and throw it on top accidentally and you go, oh, wish I hadn't done that. Okay, so we're going to call this piece officially done. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. Hey, Rhonda, you have got friends all over the... What? Rhonda, what are you talking about? You have got friends all over the world right here in this chat of 36 people. Girl, remember that. Okay? Friends all over this world. Yes. Okay, so here is what we have. I am sweet. I'm sweet as sugar. I know what I'm talking about because my online community has sustained me in more ways than you can imagine. All right, so this kind of gives you the idea. Once it gets good and dry, then I will be able to cut it up, but the white and the gold will dry down. They'll have a little bit of metallic sheen, which is in a good contrast to the flat paint, right? So, yeah, Rhonda, you getting some strokes tonight, girlfriend. Yes, you are. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. All right. So we're going to come back to this one. And let's paint. We'll paint some stuff. I gotta just stop and have a little drink with you. I just have a drink with you in my coffee. This is an Americano that is a blonde roast. If you like Americano like I do, the reason I drink Americano is because it is like regular coffee, except it's brewed fresh every single cup, so it's never bitter. If it is, they got to remake it. coffee snob. This is blonde, so it's the lightest roast. If you're somebody that likes espresso, you know, the real dark roast, you would not like this. Yeah, it's right. It's not so strong. It doesn't have any bitter quality to it. So it's blonde Americano. Sadly, my grocery store where I go that has a Starbucks kiosk doesn't have it. Yeah, very sad. Very sad. They say they're going to get it once they change machines, like in 100 years. I think once the machine quits, then they'll have to invest in a new one. When they have to do that, then they'll get the one with the blonde capabilities. Anyway, sorry, it's better to blow my nose than some other things I could do. Anyway, but they do have a thing at the grocery store kiosk that's called Rostretto. Or Rustretto, I don't know which it is. Anyway, it's kind of in between the blonde and the regular. Yes, FYI, and you're welcome. Yes. Exactly, Rhonda. Exactly. Okay, so here we go. Let's come down to the table yet again and I'm going to back out so you'll be able to see maybe the whole piece. That's about as much as I want you to see of my desk. My table is kind of a mess. And my Santa Clauses that we so rudely got interrupted about the other night, we've made it all the way. We've gone for almost 2 hours without getting cut off, so that's a good thing. That's good. These hands. Yep. These hands. Some days, that's why I put on that gloves in a bottle. Okay, so let's go. Let's do something a little bit different. Let's see if we can go this way. And this way. What you don't want to do with these metallic squeezy bottles is hopefully they don't burp on your fabric. If they do, then you got a whole other issue to deal with. Okay, so all right. We'll put a few little squares and then we're going to go to the white and do a few more things in white. Try not to get your arms in the paint and try not to let it burp. Oh, that was interesting. I didn't even mean to do that. But my hand, once in a while, my hand just has a mind of its own, does its own thing. Another thing you can do with these kinds of lines is, I'll do it over here at the side. If you get a little too much paint, like that was, I know you're far away and can't tell for sure, but you can always take your finger and we'll do that a couple more times. Take your finger and just smear. And that will give you a different kind of line width, and it just gives you a little bit more interest in your fabric or whatever you're doing. Okay? So, but if you don't like that kind of look, then don't do that. But I happen to like it because I'm only going to use a section of this, but I like to have choices in what I do, you know? Okay, so we're going to put on, and again, if you don't like what you got, then just do it, you know, smear it a little bit. And in the words of our friend Shannon Green, do it once and it's going to look like a mistake. Do it several times, it looks like an effect. Yeah. So, all right. So play with your materials, play with the design. Everything that you do will improve the look of what you're doing, in my opinion, but you know, who am I to say what you like or don't like? I'm not the boss. I'm not the boss. As Nick the Booksmith likes to say, I'm not your mother. You can do it any way you want. I'm not your mother. Who doesn't love a good Nick the Booksmith video? Again, everything that you do is, at this stage, is just adding a few little detail things and another layer, you know? It's all good. Okay? All right. So the two pieces of fabric are a little different from each other, and that I like. I don't need them to be the same. I just need them to look like they might be related to each other. So here's this one. And because it's so wet, I'm going to have to put it over the chair over here. And then I'll show you the other one more time. But, you know, I'm happy with how these have turned out tonight. So that's that one. And this is the other one. Okay. And this one may need a little bit more stuff on it. So let's give it a little bit more. Actually, I'm going to do it in the white instead of the gold. It's got enough gold. Let's do a little more white. Hey, Amber. Are you home from work? We're glad you're here. Okay, so I'm just adding a little bit more. Sometimes it takes me a little bit to kind of get my rhythm on what I want to do. But this is often my favorite thing that I add to a master board or master fabric, is the final touch of using the scribble, not scribble writers, metallic fabric writers. You can use them on paper too. The black and white ones, I buy those in the big squeezy bottles. Be careful that you don't get the puffy paints if you are not, unless that's what you want, you know. But it's pretty easy to pick those up because they're pretty much in the same kind of bottles, but they're labeled differently. So Just be aware, okay? Public service announcement. Yep, be aware. Okay, so there's that one, and that, I'm okay with that one. So far it's been a good night of painting. It's been a good night of painting. Oh, you're off. Good deal. Good deal. Good deal. Okay, so we're going to call these two pieces of fabric. So I now have the purple piece done. I have the red piece done. The thing is unfolding as we go along. Let's take a look at the journal cover that we started this whole thing with. Oh, I do like that. 2 thumbs up for that. I do like that. Let me get the journal cover. Okay, and the base layer of fabric, I didn't tell you, on these that I started with was white. It was a white muslin, not an off-white muslin. It was white because I wanted the white, the color to stay true. If you start with off-white, then it's gonna give you a base layer that's gonna be warmer in tone, so it's gonna have an effect on the paints, especially if you're letting some of those paints or some of the fabric show through. So, okay, this seems like it is pretty much stuck. So let's trim this up. Now you can do this several ways. You can use a nail file, you can use a sanding sponge, or you can use just a big old fashioned pair of scissors. And once I get this trimmed up, I almost always have to go back and re-glue the edges. And when I'm going to re-glue the edges, I'll use tacky glue to do that. And then also I'll use either a sanding sponge or a nail file. The kind of nail file that you use for, I don't know what they're called, because I've never had them on in my life. You know, the artificial fingernails. Boy, there's some of those kids at Starbucks that have some of those girls do some fancy nails, and a couple of them are like that. And they do them themselves. I mean, these kids are artists, man. Like, I don't even know how you do that. Like, how you can spend, you know, it takes a lot of time to make those fancy nails. And a lot of them, you know, I would have assumed they were decals, but they're not. These kids are painting. It's like, okay, I can see how you could do one hand. But what are you, ambidextrous or something, to be able to do that with your non-dominant hand? I don't know. I'm not that talented, I'll tell you that. That is a fact. That is an absolute fact. Okay. When I get done here tonight, I gotta go make soup. I need some soup. Yes, I do. Okay, so how much of this is unstuck? See that? Yeah, that is unstuck. So, and so I'm going to put just a little bit of tacky glue under here. I find that tacky glue, Aleene's tacky glue, is good for edges of things. Now, when I carry the journal in my journaling bag or in my purse, which most of the time it's in my purse now, because then I just make notes with a pencil through the day, if I'm out and about and there's something I want to remember, I'll just make notes with a pencil, and then that way when I come back to do the final thing, and look at this nice, swish of white, probably where I cleaned my fingers off. Anyway, we'll cover that up here in a minute. I often have to repair the edges of my journals because and this, where it's not stuck real tight to the spine, that doesn't bother me 1 iota, because the journals close most of the time, and it looks just fine. But I just come around and just, if something comes loose or I make a mess with it, I just unmess it. Yep. Okay, let's get a sanding sponge. So I'll be right back. This is definitely the fastest and easiest way to sand the edges of something, is to use a sanding sponge. These come in different grits, and anybody that doesn't like scratchy noises like fingernails on a chalkboard, this is your one warning. Mute now. Okay, mute now. Because it's an obnoxious sound, I know. But if you'll come at a 45-degree angle like this, then that will help blend the paper edge in, kind of blend it into the cover of the journal. And I love the way that looks. And it will also take off any little bits of paper where it's not where you didn't cut it quite up against the cover of the journal. It'll blend that. But this is where you can use one of those fake fingernail files. Just takes a lot longer, but it works. Then you really want to clean all that up. Instead, I'm just going to put it off to the side. And then I need... hold on a minute. I'm coming right back. I'm going to use a deep purple. Normally, I will use the same blending sponge as the color of ink, but I don't want to. Yeah, this is going to be interesting because it's my green sponge dipped in purple ink. Oh well. Then by sanding it, it gives you some space for the ink to be absorbed a little bit more. And so that's what I do. And I just ink around the edges, and I like that effect personally. And if it has a two-tone effect, because I started with green on the sponge and changed to purple, I'm just fine with that. That doesn't bother me a bit. Nope. I've done enough of these notebooks that there's not too much about them that bothers me at all. And this was junk paper anyway, so it's just a bonus journal cover. And the pieces that I cut off from around the edges of the journal, I'll show you what I'll do with those. I can stick them back in a scrap box, and then they just linger there for the rest of their natural lives until I get sick and tired of having them around, and then I chuck them all in the trash. Or I'll show you what I can do with them. So I'm just going around the edges of the pages, which I don't always do, but sometimes I do, because sometimes I like them to have contrast, a contrast color around the book block. And I'm using archival ink. This is a permanent ink. And so, anyway, good enough. Okay, so what I can do with these, you can either cut them and I will get rid of, this part here that really doesn't have much of anything on it. Okay, so I'll get rid of that. I'll throw that. But then you can take the rest of this and you can cut it. I'll just cut it into some strips. And they do not have to be the same width. It doesn't make any difference to me if they're even in width, if they're skinny, but it's fun to have the different colors. Now, if it's just one plain color, like this green is pretty much, one color, I'll just get rid of that. I don't really like that just being one color, so I'll get rid of that. And then I'll look at the rest of these. Well, that's pretty much one color. I don't need that. So I'm kind of editing as I go, cutting it into strips. Okay, like so. And I may go back and cut some of those other ones down so they're a little skinnier. Just trimming these up a little bit. Okay, so I've got some strips, and this is from, used from the cover. And so then I grab some glue paper and go back to my glue stick, and I get one of these strips. Let's say, if I can pick it up. So I'm just going to put some glue stick on this, a nice coat of glue. Okay, and then I just open a random page in the journal, and too much glue, and then I'll just pick a spot, any spot, and this is where it's good to use a credit card, a room key, or something to kind of burnish it down. Okay, so I'll just go through my journal at random, and I'll take another strip this way. Well, that came apart, so guess what? We'll do it in two pieces. Okay? This glue stick is really gloopy for some reason. I don't know why. I got nothing. And so I'll just stick this one in here like this, and then use my credit card and burnish it down. I'm trying not to get glue on the surface of the strips, because then that'll glue the book shut. Anyway, I'll just go through and I'll just randomly glue those strips in, some in the spine area, some at the tops and the bottoms, and then when I come to that page, when it's that day to write that page, and I stumble across it, I go, oh, look at that. I've already got, a start on the page. I just happen to like that, right? No, this is paper. This is just paper that was from a jelly plate printing session at some point, but not what I did tonight. Okay, and then because I cannot stand not to know what is the front cover of my journal, I do not want to pick it up and wonder and flip and open. I always put something on the front cover. And we could use that. Or we could use this one. Might be nice for contrast. Because I kind of want to cover up that. Oh, I like that one. I don't know. You know, it's like, who knows why this is the one that I like. But this is the one I like tonight. So this is the one we're going to do. And I'm going to let it, I don't know. We'll see how it goes down. Sometimes I just, okay, now, I don't think you're split. Nope. I have so much paint and glue on my fingers at this point, you guys. And no fingernails. All right, so let's put this one like this. Okay. This is one of my mandalas. I will decorate around it. That covers up that smudge up there, that big white up there. And so that now differentiates the front of my journal. I know where the front is and I don't have to wonder. And so that is that. Yes. Okay. That is that. And then I'll decorate more. But when I need to know what the front cover is of my journal, it's that, because it doesn't look like that, right? So there you go. And I'll add the word thrive on here somewhere, because that is my word of this year, which is the first time I've done that. And I put it on every one of my journals. And so I will put the date in the number journal. This is number 8 for this year. So I'll put 2023-8. And I'll put the word thrive on it somewhere. And Bob's your uncle. I have my new journal all ready to go for the next. I run out on Thursday. I was getting a little panicky that I wasn't going to have my journal ready. I couldn't wait till Friday, you guys. Couldn't wait till Friday. I had to do it tonight. In the nick of time, I got it ready. Okay, thank you guys for being here. I'm so glad that you joined me. I'm glad we got to make up for Friday when we were so rudely interrupted by an internet failure of some kind. I don't think it was my fault. I think it was my internet service, but came back online, so I don't know. Anyway. Race was busy. I couldn't get a hold of him, and yada, yada, yada. So hopefully tonight, going a little bit over, you guys had got a little extra. So thank you for being here. The fabric, I'll show it to you on... No, I will not be here Friday. So heads up, I'm not here Friday. I'll be back next Monday. Okay? Thank you, guys. Thank you, Amber and Aunt Beck and Rhonda and Ann Lar, and if there was anybody else that was a moderator that I forgot to thank you all so much. I could not do this without you, so thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you. Get grateful, get thankful. I have a thing that comes up on my watch every single day that says the fastest way to change your life is to be grateful. That's true. I can tell you that's true. So I am grateful for each and every one of you. Each and every one of you are my friends. I thank you for, we're friends all over the world. We don't get to have lunch together. We don't get to have dinner together. We don't get to go out and have coffee together. So we have coffee together here. We do something creative. We, shoot the breeze. And sometimes we cry together, and sometimes we laugh together, and sometimes we're just silly together. So thank you for being here. Get grateful. If you're feeling sorry for yourself, be grateful. Get grateful. And with that, I'm going to let you go, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.